ready.
Hi, I'm Steve Thompson, President and CEO of Emery Thompson Machine. We've been building batch freezers ever since my grandfather, Emery Thompson, invented the first machine 116 years ago. Today, it's the holiday season, 2020, and you know we're all happy to get through the holidays and get out of 2020. But before we do, we thought it'd be fun to make a traditional holiday ice cream. We're going to make candy cane ice cream. Let me introduce you to Christi.
I'm Christi Brown, Sales Manager for Emery Thompson.
And when you call, you can speak to either one of us, and we'll be happy to tell you anything you need to know about making ice cream, ices, gelato, dairy-free, all sorts of things. But today, we're going to concentrate on the candy cane ice cream, but with a twist this time. We're going to make it dairy-free. It's going to be as rich and creamy as any high-fat content product that you've ever eaten, but there won't be a bit of dairy in it, which makes it vegan. And what's more interesting is the ingredient list. This is a product made by Meadowvale, and Meadowvale is a large dairy that is in most states in the Union, and states they're not into, they can get the product to you. It can be shipped frozen, and you keep it frozen until you're ready to use it. But this is dairy-free, and listen to the ingredient list. It's really fantastic for what's not in there. This has in it coconut, cream of coconut, cane sugar, water, tapioca syrup, carob bean gum, and sea salt. And that's it. There's no harsh chemicals in there. There's no citric acid. There's no polysorbate 80. There's not any high fructose corn syrup. Just coconut cream, cane sugar, water, tapioca, carob bean gum, that's hard to say, and sea salt. This is a great product.
It truly is.
And simple to use. You saw yesterday when we made the sugar cookie ice cream. So, first thing we need is flavor. So I'm going to turn it over to Christi, and she'll describe to you what we're using for flavor.
So we picked up just regular traditional candy canes, red and white. Sometimes you have noticed that there might be a red and green, but I wouldn't use those, as when you mix them into the machine, they come out a very mucky color. So sticking with the traditional red and white candy cane's the best. So freeze them first, and then we're going to unwrap them, which we've already done here, and we're going to grind them into a powder form, because we want to put it in a powder form because we don't want little pieces or slivers, you know, that could possibly get stuck in someone's throat, especially the little children. So we're going to go ahead and do that.
You said freeze them first. Why? I like to eat them just out of the box.
Well, freezing them first, it creates them to not be so sticky. If you were to put them straight into the machine and not being frozen, they would stick together and just become like a gum sticky, you know, feel. If you freeze them, they're hard as a rock, and it gets rid of that stickiness.
Okay, good idea. And since that's the main flavor, we won't be using any blockhead vanilla. Won't need that today, because the predominant flavor is going to be candy cane. This is noisy. Close your ears.
All right, I think that'll do it.
That was easy.
Very.
And that's a Ninja blender. They're quite inexpensive, and they do a great job. So we're going to pour that into the machine. Before you do, why don't we pour in the blend, which came from Meadowvale, and that'll just go right in the machine. We're going to use a 24-quart batch freezer today. This is the machine, the Emery Thompson, that makes 2 full tubs, 3-gallon tubs. But we're going to make a half batch today. A lot of people ask, can you make a half batch on an Emery Thompson? Yes, especially on these larger machines. So we're only going to pour in half the mix that we would normally use, and it'll freeze in a little bit less time. Not half the time, but a little bit less. So you do have to keep an eye on it. And then after that, oh, and by the way, before we did all that, we sanitized the machine with Sterashine, which is a great product because health departments recognize it, and that's 90% of the game right there. In a pinch, you could use a cap, not a cup, but a cap full of Clorox bleach to a gallon of water. But my experience with health departments, and you can't win with health departments, is they look at that and they scream, "Oh, you're putting Clorox into your machine." And of course, me being a wise-ass New Yorker, say, "Well, what do you think I put in my swimming pool?" And that doesn't work for me either. They just don't like that. So you have the Sterashine so that no one is complaining about it, and you have a nice sanitized machine. So I'll put that over there.
Right. Mixes in.
Mixes in. Okay. Turn it on. We're going to run it on the dairy-free setting.
Okay.
So Christy's going to the infinite overrun control. She can pick out from homemade to dairy-free to super premium, gelato, sorbet, sorbetto, Italian ice. There's a lot of different things that we have on there, and it's all running and going.
Yep. You ready?
Now turn on the refrigeration, and we'll set a timer. Actually, nowadays there's a timer on the machine. It's counting up. Did I just turn that off?
Yes.
I did.
Do you want to
It's going to show you how far you are into the batch. Yeah, you can go ahead and
You ready?
Now, if any product tells you that we would like it mixed a little bit for a minute or two before you start freezing, don't worry about it. Did I see Sammy come in? Yeah. Hi, sweetie. Hi. You don't have to worry about that because it's like boiling water. When you boil water, nothing happens for about the first 3 or 4 minutes. All of a sudden it starts to simmer and then boom, it pops into a hard boil. Well, it's the same thing in refrigeration. For the first 2 or 3 minutes, we're lowering the temperature of the ingredients. And then all of a sudden the freezing will kick in and it'll start scraping the ice cream off the walls. So even though the refrigeration's running and it's freezing, you still have a couple of minutes that it can be mixing if you want to get a good thorough blend of mix in there. Now, the beauty of the Emery Thompson is everything goes into the machine. As you saw, Christy poured in the powder, but yesterday I made macadamia nut sugar cookie ice cream, and I just took the whole cookies and just dumped them in the machine, or if I'm making Oreo cookie, I can dump them in. You made orange Italian ice recently.
Oh, yes.
What was that formula? How did that work?
That worked out really well, and it's so simple. It's simply orange juice and sugar. That's it. Nothing else added to it. Orange juice and sugar. You can't get any simpler than that. Straight into the machine. Comes out so fresh and so sweet, just like you're eating a real frozen orange. It's one of my favorites for sure.
Now, you realize that's a secret formula, so we ask you please not to tell anybody.
Yes, please
There's
don't.
only over 38,000 of our customers in 171 countries who know the formula, but they didn't hear it from us.
Believe it, I made it and packed it into that cooler, remember? And I took it to the beach, so that orange Italian ice even held up for, I think, around 6 hours in a cooler with just some ice packs on top. So my family and I were able to have that fresh orange ice while at the beach.
Isn't that great? I don't pay her enough, so she has a second job selling Italian ice at Clearwater Beach. You gotta appreciate the initiative. Well, I'll tell you what, we're gonna break off for a minute and go find some cups and spoons, and we'll be back to you to pull this back out.
Well, this looks ready, so let's turn off the refrigeration and let's pull it. Wow. This looks great. Let's go give it a try. Boy, that's sure smooth looking. Wouldn't you even guess this is dairy free? Fantastic. Meadowvale really outdid themselves with this vegan ice cream. Dairy free. This is amazing. Who would have thought?
Now, Christy, what I'm doing to get the last bit out is I'm going to take the infinite overrun and speed it up to push out the last bit. And another interesting thing you can do with the infinite overrun is if I wanted to fill pints, I could slow it down even lower and just fill the pints right here. Here, one, and then the next, and then the next. No machines, just by raising and lowering the speed.
Or you can fill pints, I'll eat ice cream.
So this was a half batch, and we're going to get just the last bit out because I'm going to put this into pint containers and give it out to all my friends. If you don't mind, I'm going to grab myself some.
All right.
These are good-looking cups.
They are. Steve got these from Gelato Supply. They're great little cups. you can put fantastic lid on them, and you actually get a discount if you mention our name, Emery Thompson. And these are those little coolers I was talking to you about earlier about the orange Italian ice. So you can pack it straight into here. Also get a discount if you mention Emery Thompson, gelatosupply.com. And this would be fantastic to pack your peppermint ice cream into and take it to your mom and dad for a couple-hour drive, so you don't have to worry about it melting or getting thawed or starting to get soupy. Perfect. They have 2 sizes. Check them out. Getting it all, Steve?
I've got just about the last bit out here. Now, normally, Christy, if I was going to make a production run of this, I would probably run 3 or 4 batches of this flavor. So I wouldn't bother wasting too much time trying to get the last bit out, because I know I'm going to pick it up on the next batch. So I could do 2, 3, 4 batches of this flavor, or go down to a darker one.
Right.
And then at the end, I would, excuse me, work to get my last bit out, because it is all profit, and you want that profit. But for the most part, we got it all out at the very start. But this dairy-free is incredibly smooth.
It is. It's amazingly smooth. What do you think, Sam?
Hey, Mike, can you see Sammy on the side camera?
I can't now.
This is really good. It is.
But not for you, Sammy. Not because it's bad for you dogs, but it's because we're not sharing.
Say that's a fib. Say we always get shared everything, don't we?
So that's dairy-free peppermint candy cane ice cream. We wish you all happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and a safe and Happy New Year. Cheers. All right, Sammy, it's getting ready. Sorry. Good.
Taste that.
It's okay.
Oh my gosh, I hate peppermint ice cream, but...
Oh, Mike, that's good.
Mike, it really is good.
Wow.
Sounds good.
We aren't rolling.